So for today, we will actually start our field trip in Bulgaria. Bulgaria is a very interesting place, and we have a couple views of Bulgaria that we are going to look at today. So from here, you can see the different buildings in Bulgaria, and we are going to look in specific at two areas of Bulgaria. The first we will look at is the cathedral, and we actually have a 360 view for this. If it's going to work for us today, let's figure this out. Maybe it's just not working at the moment. Okay, well, in the actual class we would look at the view and talk about the ideas and the art within it. And the second view we're going to look at is the tram station. And while looking at the tram station, we're able to see some of the culture, and some of it is comparable, and these are just not working today. Some of it is comparable to the U.S. culture. They have the KFC and other things like that. So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the distance between those two places that are very, very different, because one seems quite involved and intricate and fancy, and the other is just your everyday place that you would see. So we'll talk about that, and we talk about the living situation in Bulgaria, and we would also watch a video or two, which aren't pulling up right now, of Bulgaria, and these are actually dances. Maybe this will work. But it's actually a dance in the Bulgarian style, a traditional Bulgarian folk dance, and it's very linear in that they move in a line, and it's a very strict style. And it looks like we can't watch a little bit of it today. Maybe we can. Okay. Or a little bit of snake while we wait. Oh, and here we go. Maybe. Okay, well, you can see the costumes, and there's the video here. Anyway, so we talk about that, and we talk about their style of dancing. And we talk about maybe places that they might go to dance, where they would show their dancing. The next area we are going to look at is India. And I have a traditional Indian folk dance here that we will look at. It's called the Varanga. And let's see if this one will work. Okay. So we would watch the dance, and we would just talk about how much fun they're having, and how colorful and bright, and how exciting the dance is in a sense. And we'd compare that to the Bulgarian dance that we saw. I also here have a couple of pictures that we would look at as a class. And after looking at these pictures, we could discuss the differences we see between India and Bulgaria, and kind of the ideas that we can come up with, like what is India like based on the pictures that we've looked at. And it's not a lot of pictures, which means that it's not a very good representation, and we'll talk about that at the end and tie it all in. But so that's India, and then we will finish at the USA, where I have a couple videos. The first video is the Salty Dog Rag, and it's just an old traditional folk dance that is done. And then the second video is the Cotton Eye Joe, and it's just a traditional line dance. So we'll talk about those, and we'll look. Sorry, these videos just aren't working today. I promise they're there though. But we'll talk about those. We'll then view Main Street, Grapevine, Texas, USA. And we'll talk about what the U.S. is, if this is a good representation of the U.S. We'll talk about if the dances are a good representation of the people in the USA and the ideals that they produce. And we'll talk about how no, it isn't. And how we can't judge a culture based on one thing that we see. And we'll talk about connecting ideas, and meaning that even if we see one thing, it doesn't mean it's wrong, it just may not be complete. And we want the complete idea before we make judgments, so we'll connect it into that. But yeah, sorry my internet's being slow, but this is my virtual field trip with the sound now. Don't know why that didn't work before.